Well, Kingsley, it looks like there's another win for the brotherhood.
That's what
Charlie Joanna Kwe went to court that the court should let RNAQ give her 50 million because she has decided to divorce him. And the court says that no, we are going to give you 300,000 Ghana cedis.
Instead of 50 million. Million. This is not old Ghana cedis.
Million.
New Ghana cedis.
Yeah, but she was giving 300,000 Ghana cedis.
I have issues.
You have issues, but some of us, this is
something is happening to my tree.
Hey. Well, you see, a lot of the times we have seen that marriage is becoming a loss to the man over the years. And I am saying this because we have seen and heard of men who have fathered children that are not theirs. We have seen men who have worked all their life just to come back to a woman at whom they've kept there, always providing for them, and what they are doing in return is making sure they have their peace, comfort, cleaning, sweeping, cooking, and doing all of that. And then one day that woman decides that no, I can't continue with this marriage anymore, and they go to court, and we have heard of court's judgments granting them almost more than 50% or 50% of the man's wealth that he has worked his entire life for. Some men have been able to survive these things, but some too have not been able to survive. And are we surprised that people of our age group are finding marriage very unattractive?
You know, first and foremost, Ghanaians, we love drama. And our innate liking for drama comes from sometimes people in authority, like the judge in question.
Okay, what are you saying?
So he did his job, right? To deliver judgment.
Yes.
A case was brought before him, he delivered judgment. But you see that I would term it as those unnecessary comments is why we are having this conversation.
Okay.
People go to the court all the time and they don't get what they want in terms of divorce, in terms of any other thing. But we speak about some of these things and it becomes topical because some of the comments just do not add anything
which
to them.
comment is really,
so for example,
irking you now?
She's attractive and she can remarry if she feels like.
Okay.
What if she doesn't want to marry again? And who determines who is attractive and who is not?
You know, you asked the question, so if she were ugly?
You know, we'll come to that side.
Right.
But I feel like I disagree with the judge with some of the utterances. You could have just given your judgment and they have the opportunity to appeal. If they don't and decide to just take it, they take it and they go home. But those things about attractiveness is an issue. You are there to adjudicate over a matter. Just do it and leave it at that. Do you understand?
I get you. But you see, Kingsley, whenever you test the human resolve, you would be surprised what you will discover. I am saying this because, look, now it is now that we are seeing some form of men's rights being protected by the law, and we are speaking about it not just because of the comment alone, but the fact that we are seeing this court protecting sort of or in favor of the man. I am saying this because, do you know the mental torture for a man to think that, okay, I would not register my properties in my name, but in a family member's name, because whoever I am going to marry, I do not trust them. That is how low the institution of marriage has sunk. We know of Hakimi, the legendary Hakimi, who had to convert all his property into his mother's name because he does not believe in the institution of marriage. We know of Kabilem, the famous TikTok star, who also, went with the Hakimi theory. And we are hearing a lot of these things. And I am saying that, do you know what it does to a man's ego to even find himself in that position and take that decision that no, I am not going to keep this? So for me, what the court is doing and how the court is positioning itself, I like it. And I feel like men should be protected more Because a lot of the time is always the woman, because one woman can just decide to be cunning and say that no, I will not continue with this marriage again. And she knows that when she goes to the court, she might get to, if not more than 50% of that. But you and I know that yes, some contribution might have come from the woman's end, but those contributions are not the same, or those contributions, in my personal opinion, would not warrant a woman to wipe a man's toil and suffering, half of that, just because she decides that she swore an oath to stick in a marriage, but because she has her mood and decides she will no longer go with that oath, then she gets half of that. That is worrying, and that is why we must take this critically.
I disagree.
Right.
Women contribute just as men contribute in marriage. I agree to a large extent when you say they are not the same. But you, when you worked all day and you came back and you met Fufu and Abenkwine, do you know the effort it took? Can you quantify that?
Oh, you see,
no.
If you want us to go into
when you were sleeping
that,
and she
we
was
would be moving into a different different realm.
Contribution is carpet.
That is
where I am drawing your attention to. That if she wakes up at 12 a.m., 1 a.m. and she's breastfeeding that baby that you put in her and she brought out, suffered 9 months and brought out because both of you.
But you understand, we all have our roles to play.
I gave you time. Why are you not giving me time?
We all have our roles to play.
No, wait.
Okay.
Your contribution now, right. They will take 50%. It's not just waking up and taking the 50%. The person waking up at 12 a.m., 1 a.m. and breastfeeding that baby, now you are asleep now, she's sacrificing for. Can you quantify it? The food you came back from work,
we can't quantify.
That is why.
The same way the man's contribution, there are a lot of things we can't quantify. We can't quantify.
You can. That is the more. That is the more reason why after the lady said she wanted 15 million, they gave her 300,000 because a lot of her contributions she couldn't prove them. How do you prove that I cooked for him when he was building his bills something? How do you prove that when people were coming to chase him in the house, I protected him or I shielded him? How can you prove those things? How can you prove that I took care of the kids so that he will have peace of mind to build businesses? How? What I am driving at is that, as a judge, if you get issues, those she's attractive and so she'll marry again, they pay him I also uncle another one. What advice are you giving the woman? So if she were to be ugly, she would have gotten more money. And who even determines who is beautiful and who is ugly? I just don't understand why you've been giving a simple case of dissolution of marriage. And you are saying marriage is not an investment. I agree. Marriage is not an investment because a broke lady from a very poor background will marry another guy who she will proudly say, me, I can't date a broke guy, but she is broke. But will go into marriage and then come out successful and richer. That one I disagree. But not when I have contributed. People are circulating pictures. We can all see that the woman played an integral role. Love dies. The spark in marriage will always die. But you don't treat people like they didn't add anything to your life. That one day I disagree. So as a judge, you've done your work. But right now we are having this discussion because you are happy it came from 50 million to 300. Fine. Now I think he's attractive. She's attractive and she can remarry. Who told you she wants to marry again? Well, even the 3-bedroom house crash she's asking for, no, you've given the man 2 rooms and you've given her just 1.
Yeah, that's 1/3.
So she'll sleep in that 1 room with the kids, or the man will be generous enough to give them 1 room so that the kids will stay inside.
But I mean, the court makes it clear that the man must provide for the children, their
5,000
health and
a
everything.
month. For 3 kids.
So as for the kids, they are not going to be affected in any way.
Ideally, I should be happy because it's a fellow man, right? But I don't want... See, women sacrifice a lot. But you see, there's someone in marriage right now giving it her all. And this person, when things start to change, the guy will come and tell you that you're not his class. go and pick another woman and leave you where you are, and because you are not able to contribute or you are not able to prove your contribution in the marriage, you lose everything. Is that what we are driving at?
Well, you see, indeed, there's someone in a marriage right now that is giving her all. That is a fact. It is also a fact that love dies, right? And that is why I am of the opinion that right from the word go, marriage should be treated as the partnership it is. It shouldn't just be looked at through the love spectacle or the love lens, because you see, some people, the only thing keeping some marriages today are the kids, and that is the only binding factor between people. So I am saying that men, before you even go into marriage, right from the start, you need to treat it as a partnership. And if you treat it as a partnership, we all know that partners have their end of the bargaining they must uphold. So once you know this, so from the word, when you were mentioned that you don't pay your bills alone, you split bills right from the beginning, so that fast forward, when 50 years time, you feel like, okay, from the beginning, you are the one paying the bill. Now you no longer feel like you have to pay the bill alone. But because you didn't start that from the beginning, now it is becoming an issue fast forward 50 years time. So these are some of the factors that are causing marriages to break down. So if you consider it a partnership, then both of you know that when that love dies, we all have our end of the bargain we must hold or uphold. So it is important that we start looking at it from that lens, instead of rather, always it's about love, because at the end, it has shown that it dies anyways.
I keep saying something on this platform, that we are hypocrites. Human beings, and we are hypocrites, but the Ghanaian own is on another level. We all know marriage is not for love, especially in this 20, in fact, from the past 15 years, back down there, you and I know marriage is no longer for love.
It's crazy.
It is a transaction. Marriage is a transaction. The only institution you get certificates before you start work. How is it different from putting up a company? Company too, you have to register your business, have your certificates, commence business before you start. So marriage is never, love is never a transaction. What is in it for me? That is what marriage is.
But people will agree that some people have really married for love, and that is what is keeping them till today.
They married, those people, they married when phone was not a common. Maybe stand year or marry and Nokia 3310 time. But since iPhone, it do 17. If it 13,
so are you saying even from millennials right down to Gen Zs, no one is marrying for love?
The institution called marriage. Me, personally, I think if you go into it, be ready for the consequence. Because the person you say you love and die for, take bullets for, if you see them 5 years down the line, no more charm home poor. They've even slept on the same bed before. Go if you are ready. Go in knowing that the thing you are happy about today can make you sad tomorrow. Don't think that they won't happen to you. Right now, someone is there. They are happily married. They're like, they will never happen. It will never happen to us. Oh boy. You have to be steady, because marriage is the little things in marriage that can cause some of these things. So I'm just saying that it's an institution you are not forced to enter. Don't let society, don't let anybody force you to do something you are not ready for. If you know you're a loner, being in the midst of people or bringing additional person to your space will worry you, you can go into an agreement. Let's marry, but stay in your house. Let me stay in my house. If you don't want to do that and you want to come together.
Back in social studies, we're learning type of marriages, right?
But right now, the marriage of 50 years ago, now we are trying to replicate so bad. It's not like that anymore. that marriage, one person can decide that I won't work, I'll be a housewife or house husband. And the other person will take care of the house. But here's the case. Every 3 months, ECG is increasing light bill. Every 3 months, pure water sellers, they are increasing it. Fuel is going up. And you want to still marry of 1975 and 1982. It won't work. So like you said, it's either you are doing partnership or you, if you decide to take it till the end. Unless emergency sickness or something happens along the line. If you want to be the man of the house and you don't want your wife to touch anything, do that. But as you build when you are married, as a woman, start making sure you buy more space in your iCloud. If you do something, take a photo, take a picture, take a video, put it in your iCloud because you will need it when the time comes. That's now, like I said, they will never divorce. Now, to try any evidence, not ready. When it comes, the time for you to prove it.
Is this not muddying the whole beauty that comes with marriage?
Beauty, Ben. Bill Gates create Jaya, also beauty of marriage. The pastors you love and admire, they are on their third and fourth marriages. What are you talking about?
So do you believe that the institution of marriage today is just transactional? Well, let us know in the comment section. And while you're doing that, recommend this to a brother, a friend, a sister, a family member. Until we come your way next time, always make sure you're a great citizen. We are